in the membrane. Number 3, when you consider even national security issues with Russia as Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America, where do they go? It's Alaska. One of Governor Palin's more pretzel-like pieces of logic, the premise that Russia has been coming into Alaskan airspace, now refuted by the spokesman for the Alaska region of NORAD. NORAD, you know, the guys who track Santa Claus and intercontinental ballistic missiles. To be very clear, says Major Alan Heritage, there has not been any incursion in U.S. airspace in recent years. It appears Governor Palin does not understand the difference between American airspace, the 12-mile limit, and the so-called buffer zone, which is further out. When we fly into it, Russian pilots often go up to check out our planes. When the Russians fly into it, American or Canadian pilots often go up to check their planes out. By the way, Putin has not been spotted in one of those planes. Number 2, McCain's foreign policy crisis advisor asked if he could foresee an occasion in which he could ask Governor Palin for advice in such dire circumstances. Senator McCain's response today is fascinating. Listen carefully. Quote, I've turned to her for advice many times in the past. I can't imagine turning to Senator Obama or Senator Biden because they've been wrong. They were wrong about Iraq, wrong about Russia. The follow-up question, would you turn to Governor Palin? I certainly wouldn't turn to them, and I've already turned to Governor Palin, particularly on energy issues, and I've appreciated her background and knowledge on that and many other issues. So no, he won't say he would turn to his vice president for foreign policy advice. Whatever you do, don't ask her if she's seen Putin lately in the sky. And number 1, trash the moderator. To all the geniuses led by WorldNet Daily and Michelle Malkin and Greta Van Susteren and the other pea-brains like Bill O'Reilly, who breathlessly reported last night and this morning and tonight about a farcical conflict of interest for the moderator of the vice presidential debate, Gwen Ifill of the PBS. Where have you been? The story broke in July. Gwen Ifill is writing a book that'll be out in January called The Breakthrough, Politics and Race in the Age of Obama. This also somehow disqualifies her to moderate a debate. Republican mouthpiece Rich Lowry insisted on Fix News that at the very least she should disclose that she's written this book so all the viewers will know it. Well, I'm sure she'd be delighted to do that. It would increase sales by a couple of million copies. Maybe it could have her put up a toll-free number for orders. Should Ifill also make a disclaimer that for all the hearing-impaired viewers, as a woman, she might be biased towards Governor Palin? Or that she should make another disclaimer that for those of you who have trouble perceiving reality, she has previously shown a marked bias towards facts? I mean, this desperate attempt to pre-blame Palin's performance tomorrow night on something, anything, is bad enough. In fact, it's pure racism. But it has this added element of supposed surprise. I confirmed for us here on Greta Wire, writes Greta Van Susteren of Fox Noise, Between Delusions of Grandeur, the McCain campaign did not know about Gwen Ifill's book. I think I told them when I made my efforts. Emails about midnight to find out. I am stunned. The campaign, actually both, should have been told before the campaign agreed to have her moderate. It simply is not fair in law. This would create a mistrial. No, it would get the lawyer fired. The Associated Press ran a story on July 23rd quoting Gwen Ifill and identifying her as senior correspondent for PBS's The News Hour with Jim Lehrer and author of The Breakthrough, Politics and Race in the Age of Obama, slated for publication early next year. That AP story was even is still posted on the website of the ultra-conservative Washington Times. July 23rd this was. The two campaigns formally agreed on the debates after their negotiators had agreed on the moderators, Gwen Ifill included, on August 7th. Time magazine printed an article by Ifill about the book on August 21st. And as we know, Governor Palin reads a vast variety of sources where she gets her news. She may have even read that article. Governor Palin was not selected to be Senator McCain's running mate until August 29th. And this is Doubleday's trade catalog for its new books for early 2009. It was printed in the second week of September and sent to every bookstore and newspaper in the country. Ifill's book has also been available not just in here, but online pre-order for weeks. And this gets belched in the right-wing echo chamber 48 hours before the debate, and it's been picked up by clowns like Michelle Malkin and sheep like Greta Van Susteren. And if the McCain campaign, which could have found out about it at any time over the last 2 months and 9 days by simply Googling her name, if that campaign really did not know anything about this book until Greta Van Susteren emailed them last night, they're morons.